Hey, thanks for checking out this video. Please be sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button. This is the second part in a two-part series, and in this video I'll be covering how I am able to alleviate the stress of acid reflux in babies. Dealing with babies with acid reflux. Look at this. Oh. Biddy, what is taking you so long?
Sorry, I was
It's legit getting in my eyes. Take her. Let me wipe my face.
Okay.
Here are my tips and tricks on what I use to alleviate some of the pain and discomfort of my child with acid reflux, as well as the burden on me. Like I said, these are all medication alternatives. There will be no actual medication included in this list. If you do choose that route, you need to seek a health professional, your pediatrician or anyone that can prescribe this medication. It wasn't for us, but I understand if it's something you are considering or need to do, because at the end of the day, a healthy baby is a happy baby. So I took this one a bit personal when my midwife told me that we need to do dairy-free. Now, I literally live off of yogurt. I would say 2 out of the 3 meals I eat per day include some type of dairy product, whether it's yogurt or cheese. The crazy thing is I don't drink milk, but yogurt and cheese are full-on food groups. So the dairy-free diet is the elimination of all dairy products or dairy byproducts. And you need to clear that out of your system in case your baby has a lactose intolerance or lactose sensitivity. If you are not breastfeeding, you can always buy milk, baby milk or baby formula that does not have lactose in it, that is lactose-free baby formula, and this will solve your problem as well. If you are breastfeeding, you can also try the elimination diet, which means you start to eliminate certain foods that are known to be linked to cause acid reflux and or colic. These could be spicy foods. This can be onions, garlic, certain leafy vegetables. Look at this list. Look at it. I could not do this. Now, keep in mind, we are saying things that are manageable for baby and mom. I didn't have it in me. I love food. I went long enough without alcohol, without certain foods. I just felt like I was giving up not too much, but like you're doing everything for your baby. You give them the best of the best of the best, and you're breastfeeding, so you're giving your body, your mind. And in those first few months when you're at the height of the acid reflux and everything and the breastfeeding and that, it was too much. I was like, I need to be able to eat a cheeseburger. Like, that's what's keeping me sane right now. So the elimination diet is something to consider, but keep in mind you will have to eliminate these foods for a certain period before you actually see results. So they recommend that you eliminate everything and then slowly introduce foods back into your diet to see if none of that is causing the issue. It wasn't for me, but do you. If you do believe it's an allergy and your baby is not breastfeeding, you can always do a hypoallergenic baby formula. So this will eliminate any issues and hopefully help with the reflux. Your third option is to use a thickener, a milk thickener like this one is great. So in Switzerland it's called Antikunstmittel by Aptamil. It's an anti-reflux thickener. You add this to the milk if you are using expressed breast milk, or if you're using a regular formula, you can add this to it to thicken it, and you wait a few minutes and it gets thick. I have a few tips and tricks because I'm breastfeeding, so I like to use this handy dandy little medicine thing. So I use this little medicine thing and I let it thicken in there, and then while I'm breastfeeding I unlatch, put 1 serving in there, relatch, and you do this a couple of times until all of the thickener is given to her. And when you're using it like that, it becomes a bit of a paste, as you can see. When I originally tried this with my son, I used a spoon like it says on the box, and trying to literally spoon feed a 1-month-old is impossible. And then when they relatch, it starts getting all gooey and dripping, and then your breast is slippery, so they can't really latch back on, and it is a mess. So trust me, go ahead and get you one of these little medicine dispensers. and it will save your life. Don't use the spoon. It's ridiculous. I don't even know why they say use a spoon. I don't know why it doesn't come with something to administer it easier. But yeah, do that. If you are using formula, Aptamil also has a formula that is already created to be thicker. Or naturally, formula milk is thicker than breast milk, so it tends to stick a little bit better and stay down. My only problem with the Antikunstmittel or any other thickener is that it tends to cause silent reflux in a way. So it's so thick that it can't come all the way out, but it's not thick enough to stay all the way down. So I see her kind of making this reflux-like sound. And I don't know if that's more so just my opinion or if that's really what's happening, but that's what I've observed. So I don't use it for all feedings. I just use it when I feel like her reflux is really bad, or I'll use it for maybe a feeding here and there. If I do give her a bottle, then I definitely add it. Another alternative to medication is tea. I use this little tea packet. It's great for straight from birth. So you can give this from 0 months. It's called Bauchlein Bear tea, and you can buy it in Switzerland. There's a similar brand like this one here in the US, and this is just a tea to help soothe the stomach and any type of colic as well. It's supposed to help, and any stomach discomfort in newborns. I like this tea. I thought it was okay, I think. I didn't see any overnight sensation, but it definitely was able to give my son something other than the breast milk, which was the main reason that he was throwing up. The tea kind of just sat a little bit smoother and felt like it was a bit refreshing during this time. My daughter, I haven't given any tea to because, like I said, her acid reflux does not warrant the same reaction. While she has the same amount of throw up, she doesn't complain as loudly and she's not colicky like my son was. So I was trying so many alternatives with him just to calm him. So my next tip is to visit the osteopath. Osteopaths are trained in manipulating the muscles of the body. It's very soft. It's not like a chiropractor, because I know a lot of people get these two confused, and I did as well when I first started doing research into it. And I was actually really pushed to go see an osteopath by numerous people. My midwife, my mother-in-law, everyone was like, you need to take the baby to an osteopath. And I do recommend this kind of realignment right after birth, whether the birth is traumatizing or not. But if you have a traumatizing birth or a difficult birth, I definitely recommend you go to an osteopath. This was a huge for my son. While it did not have, I'd say, long-term effects, so I will say you have to go to the osteopath at least 3 times, I'd recommend, to really see a long-term difference. But with my son, it was like for at least that day that we visited the osteopath, the colic symptoms would go away. Now, they'd come right back, but that day was like maybe not even a whole day, but like 6 hours of him actually napping and being a lot calmer and being treated. He would scream through the entire treatment. I'll show a little clip of osteopath treatment on YouTube. I can't tell you exactly what they do, but they know how to kind of move the baby to adjust some of the alignments and some of the pain. Go to someone you trust, or do your research of someone that works specifically with babies, and this will definitely be something to explore. I did take my daughter to an osteopath as well. In my opinion, it didn't make much of a difference with her. After the second treatment, I didn't go again because I never saw much of a difference. But with my son, I saw the difference right away, and we attended 3 different sessions, I think with 3 different osteopaths. So it's something to think about. My next tip is to baby wear. Baby wearing has saved my life. You should definitely get you a Moby wrap or an Ergo Baby or whatever brand, something that is hands-free, because in those first few months, I would say 4 months, they're going to want to be close, and this is the only thing that's really going to soothe the acid reflux, in my opinion. I mean, this is the most effective soothing I've seen, is being close to a parent or being held. Obviously, you hear people say, oh, you don't want to spoil your baby, or that baby's going to be spoiled. I'm not listening. Let my baby be spoiled. I don't care. This will bring you some sense of normalcy. My son, he could not be laid down or he would get really fussy. My daughter, she's a lot better with this in this regard, but she still likes to be held. She likes to be held even more than he did. She's kind of cuddly and likes to be like right up under you. So the baby wearing is huge. Plus, they're upright when they're in the baby carrier. I will say don't nurse in the baby carrier, or if you do, be prepared to take them right out because they need to kind of move to get the reflux calmed, I'd say. Like if you feed in the baby carrier and they're all bundled up in there, this is going to exasperate or make the reflux worse. So if you do have to feed while hands free or with the baby in the carrier, take them out right after to burp. Excuse me. Take them out right after to burp and work out the reflux. One tip I always read on the internet about like getting more sleep at night was to sleep feed, which means you feed your baby while they're sleeping and they never wake up, and you can feed them and they stay asleep, and then you lay them back down and then they learn not to wake up for feedings and they start sleeping through the night. Don't do this. I do not recommend you do this with a baby that has reflux. I tried it with my son numerous times and it just disturbed his sleep because the reflux is still flaring up. So even if I try to feed him, he's going to wake up because he's going to be discomfort. And then I never tried this with my daughter. If I do kind of sleep feed her, I wait until she's showing signs that she's ready to feed, and then I just get her up right away before she's all the way awake. And then always burp the baby. So one thing I thought with sleep feeding is like you don't want to wake them up, so you're being very gentle and you're feeding and then you're kind of just laying them back down. This is going to make them fussy, especially if the baby has reflux. So after I feed, I still burp at night even if she falls asleep in my arms, or if the baby is sleeping while on the breast, take them off and burp them. They'll go back to sleep and they'll sleep much better as opposed to you trying to lay them down without burping, because the reflux is going to flare up and then you're going to get that gagging and coughing again. And this is what's really going to disturb your sleep and the baby's sleep. So I am not a fan of a sleep feed. If you're dealing with a baby with acid reflux or any other health issues, please take care of yourself as well. It can be extremely stressful to take care of an ill baby that is fussy at the time, so keep that in mind. Maybe none of these tips or tricks will be the solution, but they should help in coping some of the issues. If you found this helpful though, go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. See you around.